From Dimmick Park in Hellertown, Pennsylvania, RCN Television presents the Blue Mountain League Game of the Week. It's Game 3 of the championship series, which is tied at 1-1. It features the starters Orioles. They finished number 2 during the regular season as they'll take on the Hellertown Royals. They were the regular season champions. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Laubach along with Chris Michael. Welcome to a very hot and humid night for baseball, but good baseball it should be. It's only appropriate, Chris, I think, that these two teams are here. Two outstanding managers, Bob Zerfoss of the Royals, Punkin Miller of the Orioles. Two teams that really love to play the game of baseball. I think we're in for a good night because this is a pivotal ball game tonight.
You're certainly right, and when you talk about the Blue Mountain League, the first word that comes to my mind is the tradition. And when you talk about the stories and the traditions being passed down from player to player and team to team and generation to generation, there's not two better storytellers than Bob Zerfoss and Punkin Miller. And of course, it's not coincidentally they're here for a reason. They're not just great guys, but they're also great managers. They can manage their players, manage their team, and that's what you have to do during this long summer schedule. And they've been pushing the right buttons so far, setting a perfect Game 3 matchup.
It's been a bit of a drought this summer as far as the weather is concerned and rain is concerned, but it's been a drought for the Orioles too. They haven't won a championship since 2004. That year they did beat the Royals in the championship final. The Royals are defending champs. Between the two of them, they have 10 championships. So these are without question the two best teams, and I think it's only appropriate that we're 1-1 right now in the series.
And usually when you get to this time of the year, Game 3 of a championship game, you think you've seen it all. But ironically enough, we have two starting pitchers tonight who have never started against the other team this year. Dan Leah is the only pitcher that either team has seen throw just one inning out of the bullpen. So it should be a very interesting game. Normally this year you can start right in, but there might be a little feeling out period for the hitters for the first 3 innings before the offense gets going.
And just a little more irony before we go away. Matt Maradeo of the Orioles last pitched against the Royals in 2004 in that championship ball game. Punkin Miller said, "You're going to the dance." He told his team, "Don't sit around and listen to the music." I don't think either one of these two teams are going to listen to the music. They won a championship. We'll be back with the critical Game 3 right after this timeout. Welcome back to Dimmick Park. The Royals have taken the field. Let's introduce the starting lineup for the Orioles. It will be number 8, Garrison Roush, who will lead it off. He'll play center field. Batting second, number 28, Dan Stahl, the third baseman. Batting third, the leading hitter on the ball club, Adam Sant. He's the league most valuable player. Number 19, he's the shortstop. Batting fourth, number 25, Tom Stout at first base. Batting fifth, 29, Rick Seltzer, the right fielder. Batting sixth, Mark Washburn, the left fielder. Batting seventh, behind home plate, is Pete McCauley. Batting eighth is Dave Stout, the designated hitter. He'll wear number 27. And batting ninth, number 2, Andrew Snyder, the second baseman. Defensively, this is what the Royals look like. Kevin Thompson at first, Jake DeBoer at second, Chris Grinovitsky is at shortstop, Mark Angelo at third. Ian Burley, Mike Bortz, and Ricky Rivera across the outfield from left to right. Behind home plate is Mark Nicholas. And out on the mound is hard-throwing right-hander Dan Leah. He wears number 18. He's a Salisbury graduate. Currently, he will be a senior at Cornell University. This is only his third start of the year. He's been used mostly in short inning situations. He's gone 23 1/3 during the regular season, 4 runs, 3 earned, 8 hits, 7 walks. He has struck out 18, 2-0 on the year. He has a 0.90 ERA and has 1 save on the season. He pitched 1 inning of ball against the Royals this year, gave up 1 hit, struck out 1, and did not give up a run. Stepping in, Garrison Roush. Chris?
And he throws a fastball and a slider, but that fastball is a good one. Clocked in the high 80s, so you look for a lot of high heat. Working a little bit on the changeup right now, but primarily fastball and slider tonight.
Ball 1 to Roush, who comes in hitting .326 with 28 hits. Good rip at that one. He's got 10 doubles, 3 triples. That is the team lead. He has a home run. 34 runs scored is also a team lead. 12 RBIs and 14 stolen bases, and that leads the team. So he's a good man to get on base, as most leadoff hitters are. He'll punch this one off the glove of Leah, and he'll probably beat this out. This is going to be a base hit. An infield base hit for Roush to start the ball game.
Well, pitcher's natural instinct is to try to do whatever you can to swat that ball down. Looked like DeBoer at second was lining up and could have had a play on that, even though his body was taking him away from first base. But Leah gets some leather on it here, and it just pops out of the top of the glove, and then no shot. You see DeBoer had to slam on the brakes, come in, and then Roush with good wheels beats it easily at first.
So here is Dan Stahl, and he looks at ball one. Stahl comes in batting .298 with 31 hits, 6 doubles. He's got a couple of home runs, 20 runs scored, and 19 RBIs. Stahl so far 0 for 6 in the series as a run scored. There goes the runner down to second base, and that's a close play at second. Very close play, but called safe at second base by Bob Varju. And Chris, I want to see that one again.
Well, he dropped the ball. I think if he holds on to the ball here, he's out, because Bob holds just a second, and then the ball pops free right at the end of the play. There you see the tag is applied, and the ball pops out. And that was the accurate call. Stolen base number 15 of the season for Roush.
And you saw that better than I did. I did not see the ball roll away. You're right, he's out if he hangs on to the baseball. That ball hit down the first base line. That will get the runner to third. And an unassisted play by Kevin Thompson for out number 1. But already the Orioles 90 feet away, Chris, from their first run.
You're not going to see a lot of bad fundamental play in this series here. And Dan Stahl doing exactly what you have to do there. Runner already moved up to second on the stolen base. You hit the ball on the right side. Same thing as a bunt. Roush now at third base, but the Orioles can take an early lead on a fly ball or even a ground out, because it looks like the Royals are going to play back.
Well, here's the MVP, number 2 hitter in the league during the regular season, and he looks at strike one. Adam Sant, 398, team lead, 33 hits, 11 doubles. That's a team lead. He has a triple and 7 home runs, 25 runs scored and 24 RBIs, and a good curveball. And Sant behind in the count 0-2.
A key situation here, Sant has to put his bat on the ball. They're playing back in the infield. They're conceding a run. All you have to do is put your bat on the ball, and you get an early 1-0 lead.
The 0-2 pitch, and he goes after a pitch in the dirt. Sant will run it out, force the throw. And going nowhere from third base is Garrison Roush, so a big strikeout. That will go in the book as a K2-3 for out number 2.
Sant perhaps got a little anxious there, got behind in the count, and then went after that slider. Wasn't a great slider, but it was enough. And you know, when you're throwing the high 80s, anything that's coming that looks hittable, you're going to take a hack at, no matter where it ends up.
Here's Tom Stout, comes in batting .340 during the regular season with 35 hits, team lead, 4 doubles and 5 home runs, 27 runs scored, and 27 RBIs. And he looks at strike one. So Leah looks very sharp here early.
Both managers expressed some concern looking at these pitchers for the first time. Leah with the high speed, and we'll get a look at the Orioles pitcher's side armor in the bottom half of this inning.
1-1 on the curveball or slider, and that's about all he throws. He does not throw a changeup.
Bob Zerfoss said he was trying to talk him into experimenting with it here, but a big ball game like this, doubtfully you're going to see it, if at all.
That's going to be strike 2. So 1-2 to Tom Stout, who normally will get wood on the baseball. He is not a strikeout guy. Leah trying to work out of a little trouble. And a foul ball, just staying alive. The count stays 1-2.
I asked Bob Zerfoss about how much he's looking to get out of Leah today. He started once during the regular season, went 5 innings, relatively low pitch count for 5 innings, and then also pitched 5 innings in the playoff game a week ago. So he feels confident in him to go at least 5 or 6.
And Chris, he's been gradually adding innings from the beginning of the year to now. That's a chopper. Could be troublesome. Grabbed by Leah. He has to make the throw. He throws it high, and it's not caught. That is going to be an error on the pitcher, and that will allow an unearned run to score.
But Leah makes a great barehanded play. If third baseman Mark Angelo is coming in, you don't know if he's going to get there. So Leah barehands it, has some time with Stout running, and yet he throws it high. There you see a chopper. He barehands it, steps, didn't really step, kind of arced it a little bit, threw off his back foot. When you do that, the ball has a tendency to sail, as it did there.
Coming in tonight, talking to both managers, the thought was that it could be the defense that decides this ball game. And that might end up being a costly error. Strike 1 to Rick Seltzer. .315 on the year, 23 hits, 3 doubles, 8 home runs, 22 runs scored, 29 RBIs. That's a team lead. And 3 stolen bases. All of these numbers, by the way, are regular season numbers. In the playoffs, Seltzer's 2 for 5 with a couple of runs scored, an RBI, and a home run. And in fact, in the last ball game played on Sunday, his ball club down 6-0. He hit a booming home run with nobody on, and that just ignited them to a 10-run inning.
Wow, Tom Stout got the best jump of the year. He was off about a full second before Leah went into the windup.
That's just bad concentration on the pitcher's part.
You can see here, look how early he goes. He had a pretty good lead to begin with. And absolutely no shot for Nicholas behind the
High
plate.
fly ball. That's deep. Back to get it and making the catch at the fence is Ricky Rivera for out number 3. But not before the Orioles strike first. 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error. It was an unearned run and 1 runner left on base. The end of 1/2 inning of baseball in the Blue Mountain League Game 3 of the championship series. It's 1-0 in favor of the Orioles. Let's take a look at the Royals starting batting lineup. They will lead it off with center fielder Mike Bortz. He'll wear number 16. Batting second, Ian Burley. Number 5 will play left field. Chris Grinovitsky is the shortstop. He'll wear number 3 and bat third. Batting cleanup, Mark Angelo. Mark Angelo, the 3rd best hitter in the league with a .391 average. He'll play third base and bat fourth and wear number 9. Batting fifth, number 23, Ricky Rivera, the right fielder. Batting sixth, Kevin Thompson, the first baseman, number 41. Batting seventh, number 4, Jake DeBoer, the second baseman. Batting eighth, Mark Nicholas, the catcher, who wears number 7. And batting ninth, the DH, Nick Bowen, number 42. Defensively, the Orioles have Tom Stout at first, Andrew Snyder at second. Adam Santa at shortstop. Dan Stahl is at third base. Mark Washburn in left, Garrison Roush in center, and Rick Seltzer is in right. Pete McCauley is behind home plate. Out on the mound is Matt Maradeo. Maradeo is pitching in his 9th game. He has thrown 35 1/3 innings, given up 20 runs, 16 earned, 36 hits, 17 walks, struck out 37, 5-0 on the season with a 3.17 ERA. The last time he pitched against the Royals was in 2004, and at that point, when he was in Kutztown University, he headed into the Chicago Cubs organization. He played in the minor leagues for them, in the Frontier League for the Washington Wild Things, and the Frontier League for Florence Freedom. So he's back in the Blue Mountain League, and he gets another opportunity to pitch a big game against the Royals.
And we saw him last week, and comes at you with a sidearm delivery. And for the most part, last week against Vinecrest did a pretty good job. Normally, left-handed hitters will have a bit of an advantage. There's a couple pitches he hung last week that were hit well by left-handed hitters, but also mixed up the hits rather well. And was out in front of most of the hitters last week.
And he's got himself a 1-0 lead to work with, and he will face Mike Bortz, who comes in batting a nice .364, leads the team in hits with 36 of them. He has 7 doubles, tied for the team lead in that with that number, a triple, 6 home runs, 28 runs scored, that's a team lead, and 21 RBIs. He has stolen 6 stolen bases on the year, second to Jake DeBoer in that category. He gets that sidearm fastball and pops up the first pitch to Tom Stout. He will nestle under it in fair territory for out number 1.
Bortz saw a pitch he could hit, took a good hack at it. I thought he might try to take a few pitches there, because as we said, we really haven't seen Matt Maradeo pitch against the Royals this year. Most of his teammates have never seen him pitch before. Usually the leadoff hitter will try to give a couple pitches just to get a look at him. But he saw a pitch he liked, popped it up.
Here's Ian Burley, played his college ball in Lafayette, comes in batting .316 with 25 hits, 6 doubles, a home run, 18 runs scored, 11 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, another good contact player. Strike 1 to Burley. We'll give you the umpires in a moment.
So many times this year we've seen Burley just go with pitches outer half the plate, hit it to right, or pull one up through the middle to drive in a run.
Ian was feeling the effects of the heat a little bit before the ball game. In fact, came in while they were taking batting practice and tried to load up with some liquids.
A few people were struggling here in the hitting and the infield drills. It's very human, our most human game we've seen.
Well, you take a guy like Mark Nicholas behind home plate. He's a landscaper. He's got his own business. So he works in the hot sun all day long. And then for a respite, Chris, he comes and puts on the catcher's equipment, much like that guy has to wear. There you get a look at Brian Reynolds, Mike Boylan along the first base line, and Bobby Barjou is down on the third base line. Maradeo's thrown nothing but strikes. He's ahead in the count 0-2. That ball hit right up the middle. Good fastball, but it was up around the eyes of Ian Burley, and he just poked it right up the middle, hit the ball hard.
Oh, we saw that many times this year, and you know what? It's not a big secret. When you get 2 strikes, you choke up on the bat, you just try to send that ball to center field. It's something that baffles a lot of even major league players nowadays. They refuse to do that, but Burley has had so much success. With 2 strikes, you bear down, you choke up on the bat, you have a little more leverage. You got a pitch you can hit, just serve it right back through the box.
Here's Chris Grinovitsky, comes in batting .311 with 33 hits. Also has a tie for the team lead with doubles with 7 of them. He has a triple, 2 home runs, 26 runs scored, and 14 RBIs. 2 for 7 so far in the series with a run scored.
Maradeo may want to watch Burley. He does have 6 steals and he can run.
Maradeo gets the ball to the plate in a hurry. So you need to get a pretty good jump if you're going to steal second base. Marcangelo on deck. A very dangerous Marcangelo on deck.
You can see a hit and run here too, or a try to steal. You're only down by 1. You're obviously just in the first inning, so you still have a lot to play with.
And the count 1-2 now.
That would have been a good pitch to hit and run on 2. Outer half of the plate. Looks like Snyder, the second baseman, is covering the bag.
Inadvertently gave Marcangelo's number as 9. That's his brother Greg. He's wearing number 40. And that ball out of the strike zone. But Grinovitsky went after it for out number 2. First strikeout of the ball game for Maradeo. Angelo, .391 on the year, 34 hits, 7 doubles. Led the team in home runs with 8 of them. 26 runs scored and a team lead 30 RBIs. Strike 1.
Bob Surfoss said without a doubt he certainly was our MVP. Right in the middle of that lineup, hit for average, hit for power, played 3 different positions during the course of the year. Really helped out this Hellertown offense.
Upstairs, 1-1.
He was pretty consistent all year. We saw some guys hitting over 400 and then they tailed off a little bit, and other guys were hitting in the 200s and improved as the season went on. But Angelo was up there between 350 and 400 pretty much the whole year, or even a little above 400 at a couple points.
Yeah, he led or tied the league lead in 5 categories this year, so he had a terrific season. Marcangelo.
Burley looks like he wants to run. He's fake going 3 or 4 times.
Pretty good pitch to go on. He's not. Upstairs, 3-1.
Normally 2-1, you think you're getting a fastball there. Got a fastball that was up and away from him, so probably a good decision there not to put the hit and run on. It's a huge hole on that right side, and Rick Seltzer, the right fielder, is playing well off the right field line.
That's going to be a strike. The count will run full. And he'll be running on this pitch. Angelo was drafted in 2009 by the Seattle Mariners after successful years at Bucknell and East Stroudsburg University. He was a 3rd-team All-American while playing college baseball. And that one way out of the strike zone. That puts a runner in scoring position in Burley down at second base with 2 down for Ricky Rivera.
Maradeo, like so many pitchers we've seen this year, an excellent strikeout to walk ratio, better than 2 to 1. Here he offers a free pass, puts the runner in scoring position.
Rivera comes in batting .279 with 19 hits. He also has 7 doubles, 8 runs scored, and 13 RBIs. He'll get the sidearm treatment, the right-hander. Inside, ball 1. So Matt couldn't throw balls early in this inning. Now he's having some problems getting the ball over the plate. That's inside. Ball 2.
You also see him mix in a sidearm delivery as opposed to the three-quarter delivery, and sometimes that'll mess up your mechanics. If you're coming with different arm angles, the pitcher will, in effect, lose the strike zone. It's effective against righties when you can come three-quarter and that sidearm delivery throwing like around the corner, but we're seeing what happens if you vary that delivery too much.
Swing and a miss. 2-1. He's really getting right-handers to go after that pitch up around the letters, Chris. We saw Grinovitsky do it on a strikeout, and that pitch may not have been a strike.
It's almost like coming right across your body. You're seeing it off your left shoulder, and the next thing you know, it's right up over the plate and up around the letters. A tough pitch to hit.
That went right down the middle, and Rivera went after it. 2-2. We came here tonight expecting a pitcher's duel. Both these guys highly touted. We've got the wily veteran right there, and the youngster in Leah, who is currently pitching college baseball in the Ivy League. 2-2 pitch. Hit hard and deep. Back goes Garrison Roush. He's back, and he will collect it about 5 feet from the fence for out number 3. So no damage, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 1 full, it's the Orioles 1, the Royals nothing. Stay with us. We are back. 2 of the most successful franchises in Blue Mountain League history. The Orioles with a title in 76, 77, 85, 87, 88, 2004. This is their 13th final. And when you turn the page over to the Royals, they have titles in 78, 79, 05, and 09. And they have been in 12 Blue Mountain League finals.
You know, when you talk about most successful franchise, we have a shot of a couple Phillies jerseys. I thought you were going to lead into that. It's interesting because young people coming up think the Phillies are this great organization with this long history of winning. And it's like, well, yeah, the last 5 years have been pretty good, but the other 124 were a little shaky.
Yeah, they're now the non-Cubs. Yeah, they struggled as much as the Cubs did for many, many years. Here's Mark Washburn, 312 on the year with 29 hits, 6 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 16 runs scored, 20 RBIs. He's 2 for 8 in the series with a couple of runs scored and an RBI. Ball 1 to Mark Washburn. And now it's 2-0.
Mark's another guy that has just delivered some key hits throughout the season and again in game 2. Come from behind victory by the Orioles.
2-1. Leah, quick worker. On a night like this, that's good news to everybody. And that's going to be strike 2. He's got a good fastball. Boy, when he keeps that down around the knees, that is a tough pitch to hit. The 2-2. A little low. And the count goes full. Washburn with a good rip. That ball is hit to Ricky Rivera. He will mosey under it and put it away for out number 1.
Against that fastball, people may want to steal a page from Ian Burley there and just shorten the bat. Washburn with a very quick bat got around that time, but do a little more than lift that ball to right field. An easy play for Rivera.
Here's Pete McCauley, 291 on the year with 23 hits, 6 doubles, 8 runs scored, and 8 RBIs. Pete is having a good series. He's 4 for 6 with 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and a home run and a triple. And that's going to be down the line, and it'll be a foul ball. That ball had a lot of spin on it from the moment it left the bat and just would not stay fair. 1-1.
Rivera could be busy with that fastball and guys with late swings. You can see that one hooks well foul.
About a foot. There's a slider. Takes a little off of that. Tough pitch to catch up to. 1-2. If he ever would get himself a changeup. Chris, how difficult could he be to hit? 2-2.
Especially out of the bullpen. If you're only throwing 1 or 2 innings, you can rely on 2 pitches pretty much. But the second time through the order, most pitchers, to have a lot of success, you're going to have to come up with a 3rd pitch. At least to give the hitter something to think about.
Boy, there's a fastball pitch against a fastball hitter. And McCauley jumped all over it. He is super hot. He is now 5 for 7 in the championship series.
He's done just a solid job all year long behind the plate. The bat has really been coming to life as he gets close to the 300 mark. Takes a fastball and just sends it right back into center field. He's a 1-out base runner.
For Dave Stout, comes in batting .260, 20 base hits, 5 doubles, 10 runs scored, 11 RBIs. Low, ball 1. Dave, of course, the real veteran on this ball club, 22 years of Blue Mountain League baseball.
Dave's another guy not afraid to hit the ball to right field if he gets one on the outer half of the plate.
Boy, Punkin Miller has decided to run tonight, as on the move was McCauley. Stout grounds the ball to Angelo for out number 2. And down the second goes McCauley, a little bit of a hit and run situation.
And now McCauley will come out for a courtesy runner. Swinging on the pitch was Stout, a good contact hitter. And Angelo only 1 play across the diamond to retire Dave Stout.
Kyle Wilt will run for Pete McCauley. So he'll be down at second base. And here's Andrew Snyder. .316 on the year with 24 hits, a triple, 12 runs scored, 8 RBIs. And he made a great play in Game 4 of the Vinecrest series at second base to end that ball game and get the Orioles into the championship final. 0 for 5 in the series. He does have a run score and a sacrifice. Foul ball. And he's behind in the count 0-2, and that one hurt home plate umpire Brian Reynolds.
Real late swing that time by Snyder. Just got a piece of it.
And a veteran move by Mark Nicholas. He walks the ball out to the pitcher. Give Brian Reynolds a chance to gather himself, shake off that soreness, and get ready to go. In fact, we'll develop a little bit of a story about a similar situation. Well, here we go. We will. A base hit by Andrew Snyder. And the ball gets through Ian Burley. So that will be an error on the left fielder. And Snyder sees that they throw the ball behind him. So just poor defense that time by the Royals. So it's a base hit to left, an error on the left fielder. That allows the run to score. It will not be an RBI. Chris?
Snyder does a great job just getting his bat on the ball, sends it into left field. There you see the short, quick stroke, sends it to left field. They're holding the runner at third. And then as soon as Wilt sees that, he is off. He scores. Snyder also heads up base running to second, and then that error gets him to third base.
So we have a double error on the play, both on the left fielder. An error on the ball that was allowed to go through his legs, and an error on the throw behind Snyder. That brings up Garrison Roush. And Roush ahead in the count, 2-0. I was going to develop the story about Andrew Snyder and Mark Nicholas. In the last ball game, with a 6-2 lead by the Royals, Snyder broke his bat on a ball down to shortstop Grunowicki. And that's going to be a strike, 2-1. The bat, the broken part of the bat, hit Nicholas in the head. Nobody saw it, Chris. Grunowicki made an error on the play. And Mark Nicholas said he did not remember the next 6 batters. And Bob Zerfas asked him when he came to the dugout, because that was the inning where they erupted for 10 runs. He asked him, why were you calling fastballs in those situations? And he said, Bob, I don't know what I was calling. He was totally
didn't remember the inning.
Yeah. And that's going to be a walk to Roush to put runners on first and third.
This is common when you have some misplays behind you. You try not to let that enter into your thinking, but a lot of times you can lose the strike zone in a hurry because you're thinking, wow, I could have been out of this inning, or I could be first and third right now, or I could have this, or I could have that. Before you know it, you give up a couple walks.
At the moment, that run is not an earned run. It can become one, depending on what happens. Here's Dan Stahl. He will pop this one up. Could be playable for Thompson. Looks like he has room. He does indeed. It will be an unearned run, but a run nonetheless for the Orioles. They get 1 run on 1 hit. There were 2 errors in the inning and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 1.5, the Orioles have struck twice. They lead it by a 2-0 score. Braun and Turco with us tonight. Braun and Turco Insurance Incorporated. They're formerly the R.R. Braun Insurance and Turco Associates. They provide the highest quality insurance products and customer service, and they've been doing it since 1947. Bob Turco, Russ Braun proudly support Blue Mountain League Baseball. They're located at 1501 South 4th Street in Allentown. You can call them at 610-797-5828 for auto, home, business, or life insurance. Braun and Turco Insurance. They've been with us since we've been doing Blue Mountain League Baseball. We thank them for their support.
On that play to left field, Burley came in charging. Sometimes your shortstop will help you out and say not going, so you don't have to be a little overly aggressive, as we saw there. Burley came charging in with the right decision, but then just tried to field that ball off to his side, trying to peek up and see what the runner was doing. By the time he looked back down, the ball was by him.
So sloppy defense so far has led to both runs. And Maradeo will go out on the mound with a 2-run lead. He will face Kevin Thompson, Jake DeBoer, and Mark Nicholas, batters 6, 7, and 8 in the Royals lineup. Chris, I go back to our conversation with Ian Burley before the ball game. It is very un-Ian Burley-like to commit an error in a ball game. He was not feeling well prior to the game, and I think it had a lot to do with heat. And Chris, that can make you a little woozy, and I don't know if that was part of that play, but perhaps that had something to do with the 2 errors on the same play by Ian Burley. Here's Kevin Thompson, 250 on the year, 21 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, and 5 home runs. 20 runs scored and 17 RBIs. That's upstairs, ball 1. Kevin 2 for 4 in the series with an RBI, a run scored, a double, and a sacrifice fly. Nice pitch, 1-1.
Last week, Maradeo was shaking off his catcher a little bit more than we've seen so far tonight. Right now, it looks like he's pretty much in a flow with his catcher.
Good rip. Swinging through it. 1-2 to Thompson.
Sometimes that just helps you out in terms of your pacing, too. If you're out there shaking, okay, now I'm ready. But if you're agreeing on the first pitch, you can go right back to work.
There he took a little bit off of the slider. And a nice job by Thompson to fight it off.
That's what you have to do against Maradeo. Look for the hard stuff and try to hang in there against the changeup.
The MO for Hellertown all year long has been to get down early and come back and win games late. And that's going to be a fastball strikeout. Strikeout number 2 by Maradeo, out number 1 in the second inning.
I was kidding a couple of players on both teams. I said, all right, the idea is to fall behind after the first 3 innings, and then you'll have the opposition right where you want them. Orioles had a 3-run lead after 4.5 innings in game 1, and then a 6-0 lead evaporated after 3 innings, and the Orioles win.
So here's Jake DeBoer, 247 on the season. 22 hits, 3 doubles, 2 triples, a home run. 18 runs scored, 7 RBIs. He led the team in stolen bases with 9 of them. He'll hit this hard, but right at the shortstop. Gobbled up by Adam Sant. And he makes the throw over to Tom Stout for out number 2.
Boy does a good job of staying in there. I've noticed that this is not a coincidence. The first pitch to right-handers, most of the time it's either missing inside or on the inside part of the plate. They're trying to get the hitters off the plate a little bit. And especially seeing this guy for the first time, you may want to back up a little bit or take a little tentative approach, but DeBoer stayed right in there, got a good swing and a pitch.
So Mark Nicholas, the catcher, steps in, 171 with 13 hits, a double, a home run, 6 runs scored, and 13 RBIs, ball 1. He's 2 for 6 in the series with an RBI, a run scored, a home run. Chrissy had a very unique home run in game 1.
First thing I did when I got here was to look for the tree right behind the 346 sign. That came into play in his home run in game 1.
The ball was going to be caught by Garrison Roush, but it hit a leaf. And the rule in the Blue Mountain League is if you hit a tree, any part of a tree, even though it may be in play, it's a home run. And that's exactly what he did. And he got all 4 bases.
And Bob Serpas, who
There you
we said in
go,
the
look.
pregame, he's been around forever. He said he never remembers that ever happening at any point here in Hellertown. Other ballparks, yes, but never here at Dimmick Park.
There you got a look at the infamous tree out in center field. Foul ball will make the count full at 3-2 to Nicholas.
And as a couple of players said, they don't remember the last few years that coming out that far. It was never really an issue before. 'Cause I wanted to see exactly where that was, because the left field trees are well away from the playing field, and right field they're far away. But that one tree out there been growing a little bit, and actually became a factor on Saturday night's game.
Actually, a similar situation, Chris, at Egypt Memorial Park.
Yeah.
They've also have trees that overhang, but the Stout brothers went out and cut them all down, so they don't overhang anymore. That's high. Looks like it'll stay in the park. Back is Garrison Roush, and he is just wide of the branch. Otherwise, that might have been another one of those, but instead it's just a long out to end the 2nd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base at the end of 2-0 Orioles. Stay with us. Here you get a look at Eric Charles. He has recently resigned as the president of this league after 6 great years, and sent us a nice email. And just to read you a small part of it, he says, "All I can tell you is the Blue Mountain League means very much to me. Like many others before me, took on the task of presidency with one thing in mind, to keep this league going in a positive direction. Every one of my predecessors passed the baton to his replacement cleanly. It is now my time to make that exchange, knowing that the groundwork is set for him to make this league even better." Thanks to Eric Charles. Our association with Eric over the years has been just wonderful. He has done so much for this league, and we wish him the very, very best. He will stay in the presidency through the banquet, and then he will indeed pass that baton. Here's Adam Sant. He'll lead it off. Batters 3, 4, and 5 for the Orioles. Sant struck out in the first. He's 2 for 7, now 2 for 8 in the series. He has 3 RBIs, a run scored, a triple, a stolen base. So he has put a lot of dots on the stat page. Top of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Orioles. Strike 1.
Eric, too, was extended the invitation. Gary asked him if he wanted to come over and just talk about his career and his performance, and he said, "No, I don't want me to distract from the game." And pretty much that sums up his 6 years of presidency. He was very pro-league, looking to promote them as much as possible, but he was not out there promoting himself, promoting the league.
Yeah, that is typical Eric Charles. Well, there you saw Mark Nicholas put the glove down, and Leah put the ball right in the glove. 1-2. Now to Sant. Coming in, we were told that Brian Reynolds had a very, very tough strike zone. I have not found that so far to be the case. I think it's been a very fair strike zone. That's a high pitch that's beat down to 3rd base. Mark Angelo up with it. Fires over to first baseman Kevin Thompson. We're out number 1. If you've seen our Royals broadcast this year, Chris Sewell normally is at that spot. Chris got injured before the championship series, tried to DH in the last game, but he is now out for the rest of the series.
Angelo looks very comfortable at 3rd base, came in very smooth, charged it well, got a pretty good hop and caught it in stride.
Here's Tom Stout, got on an error in the first, and that scored Garrison Roush from 3rd base. And a ball hit back to pitcher Leah, and he made a high throw over to first base, which allowed the first of 2 unearned runs in the game. High chopper that Grinovitsky can't handle. That'll be a bad hop base hit for Tom Stout.
For as nice a hop as Angelo got, that was as tricky a hop for Grinovitsky. That ball looked like it was going up the middle. He's moving to his left, and all of a sudden, looks like, let's see if it hits the cutout. Yep, hit the rim of the cutoff, took a crazy hop, not only went high over his head, but changed direction. And a nice hit from Tom Stout.
And here's the always dangerous Rick Seltzer. He flied out deep to right field to end the first inning. He can hit the ball out of any ballpark. And he looks at strike 1. It's 328 down the line in right field, 374 to right center. Then it comes back to 346 in center field, 384 in left center, and 328 down the line in left field.
Also, to support your comment about Brian Reynolds, I saw him earlier this year in a game in Northampton. Did a very good job in that ball game, too.
And socialized with us in between innings. Seltzer down 0-2 in the count. In the dirt, nice stop by Nicholas.
Have enough trouble talking into the microphone. He wanted to converse in a three-way conversation. A little bit too hard.
There you look at Mark Nicholas. Before last year, Chris, he had never caught a game. He was not a catcher in Little League. He was not a catcher anywhere throughout his baseball career. Bob Zerfas needed a catcher. He says, give it a try. And he's been a starting catcher ever since.
Well, that's just a gift. You don't. Some people will say you have to have some screws loose to get behind the plate and play in August, but you have to have a natural talent to play that position at this level, and to just step in like he did. It's truly amazing.
Ooh.
He knows how to frame a pitch, too.
Yeah, and keep it framed. He thought for sure that was strike 3. Take a look. It is close. It might have been just off the plate.
Definitely crossed above the knees from our vantage point, but looked outside.
Ball hit down to second base. Oh, what a stop. Oh, my, what a defensive play by Jake DeBoer. A diving stop allows Stout to get to second base, but certainly saved a first and third situation.
Definitely would have been runners at the corners because DeBoer shaded over there playing for the double play. You see a chopper fully extends himself, gets the leather, quick peek at Stout. No chance to get him, so you make the only out you can at first base, get that second out.
For Mark Washburn, who hit a deep fly ball in the second inning to right field. And he gets a good rip there. Strike 1. We heard a great deal about the Leah fastball, and it is as advertised. But as you know, Chris, and I know, good hitters usually can get on top of a fastball once they get used to the speed.
Second time through the order, you have a better shot at timing that ball. Washburn with a quick bat. Made some good contact his first time up.
And he's had a good rip at the last 2. Fouled them both off. 0-2. 2 down in the top of the third inning. Funkin Miller has been with this franchise for all 38 years. He's the manager. And that's going to be strike 3 on a swinging strike for the third out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 runner left on base. At the end of 2.5, Chris, as we look at the strikeout, 2-0 Orioles.
Good decision here by the battery as we get a look at the nice play by DeBoer to extend himself, get the key second out. That prevented runners at the corners, and then the strikeout. Change of pace there by Leah. Got Washburn just out in front of it enough that he couldn't get a decent hack at it. Of course, with that fastball, you got to look for the heater. And Leah got him with the changeup.
Starters Pub, Starters Riverport, Starters Clubhouse. All great places to eat, great places to watch sports on their big screen television sets, and certainly a great place just to socialize. Starters will bring us our trivia question of the night. 5 players on the rosters of the Royals and the Orioles have 20 or more years in the Blue Mountain League. Who are they? I'll give you a hint. 2 of them are on the Royals roster. 3 of them are on the Orioles roster. We'll get that answer in a couple of innings.
It's an easy question to answer if you have an internet and the website address available. A great website again this year. Eric Schmidt, I think, maintains that for the most part. And there's a lot of information on there. A lot of fun to check up on the scores between our broadcasts and just check in and see how the league results were and who's beating who and who's hitting and who's not.
That's another Nicholas down there as the first base coach, and Bob Zerfas, who has been the only manager of the Royals, co-managed for a while when they first began with George Cobb. But they've been in existence, Chris, 33 years, and he has been their manager for all 33. Not that guy, but he's been around a long time, too. He played in the Blue Mountain League. And stepping in to bat for the Royals is number 42. Nick Bowen will get his first look at Matt Maradeo. and literally his first look. These guys have not seen Maradeo. Tries the bunt for him, and he's going to do it. That's just a perfect play. Bunt the ball hard past the pitcher. And he is a leadoff base runner. Nice play by DH Nick Bowen.
Tough play for Maradeo there. He's coming off the mound in that direction, but you don't have a lot of a time to adjust and take the best angle. He dives for it, and once it gets by him, Snyder's playing too far back to make a play. And Bowen can run a little bit.
Bowen, a pitcher on the Royals staff. They've been kind of playing around, Chris, with his DH spot late in the season. And he just used the any way to get on philosophy. And they're going to try to bunt him to second. Maradeo will make the play to first base. It will be a successful sacrifice by Mike Bortz. Down to second base goes Bowen. So Bob Zerfas playing a little small ball.
Bortz trying to get Bowen into scoring position, also trying to bunt for a hit there as he just dropped the bat head down. Hit it back a little bit too hard to Maradeo. That does move the runner up.
For Ian Burley. Ian got a base hit up the middle in the first. This is just Burley's second game of the series. He went 2 for 4 in the last ball game with a double and a couple of RBIs. Inside ball 1. Or was that a strike? I heard some jawing. I thought it came from the Royals bench. It was a strike. That looked inside, Chris.
No, I didn't see Brian Reynolds put his right hand up.
I only reacted to the reaction of the Royals fans. There's a good curveball. Strike 2. Burley gets down in that low crouch, and it's hard to tell if a ball's up or whether it's a strike.
And Burley again will have to shorten up a little bit on that bat. Just try to make contact.
Maradeo gave him a great effort last Tuesday against Vinecrest. Won that ball game. Trying to do the same thing here tonight. These two teams during the regular season, Hellertown won the series 3-2-1. They tied their last ball game 7-7. And then both took a forfeit loss rather than replay that game. So when I say 3-2-1, it's really 4-3-0 if you go by the actual record put in the books.
Maradeo has a bit of an advantage against this lineup with the Royals that don't feature as many left-handed hitters in their starting lineup. Last week against Vinecrest, they started 5 left-handed hitters.
What's interesting, Chris, when I give those records as they now truly exist, at 4-3-0, it's 7 games, but they've only played 6.
They got in the playoffs.
Because they both got a loss. Yep. Yeah, they both got a loss. It added an extra game. So that'll be a pretty good trivia question somewhere along the line. Beats that one foul on the 2-2 count. I've got 3-2. We've got 3-2 on the board. They've got 2-2 out in the scoreboard. So 3-2 is the count. So not 100% sure if the count is 3-2 or 2-2. No, we're never going to find out. That's going to be a base hit to right field. Coming around to score is Bowen. We'll have a play at the plate, but Bowen will get in there, and that's going to allow a runner to get to second base. So the bad hop over the head of catcher McCauley. It will be an RBI base hit for Burley, his third RBI in the series, and gets Hellertown on the board. And then, Chris, we guess we have to give an error to somebody.
Yeah, and the ball went all the way into the dugout area, so he's awarded another base, and he goes all the way to third base on this throw. You see Seltzer with a solid arm and right comes up throwing. It just short hops McCauley a little bit. Again, right on that cutout area, takes a crazy hop over his glove and rolls all the way into the dugout. So Burley went to second on the throw, and then when it went into the dugout, he was awarded third base.
So we'll have to give the error to the right fielder on the throw. Down to the shortstop, that's going to tie the ball game up. So the error looms large. and kind of a tough error to have to give. It really was more about a bad hop. But small ball work, Chris. They got the 2 runs.
And on the one hand, you're thinking, well, you have a 2-run lead. At that point, it becomes a 1-run lead. Do you throw through? Because it was a good throw and could have been cut off, but that throw was on the money. It certainly would have been a close play at the plate if that ball doesn't short hop the catcher. And Sant with a big important play to keep in front of that one to get at least 1 out here, 2nd out of the inning, but the run does come in to score.
So this out here will make that an unearned run. They'll get 1 earned and 1 unearned. Doesn't matter. This ball game is now tied up on 2 runs on a couple of base hits in the inning. There was an error, and there was no one left on base. So at the end of 3 full, it is 2-2. We'll move to the 4th. Chris Michael with play-by-play.
Chris Michael, Game 3 of the championship series between Hellertown and the Orioles of starters. And one change we'll have to make. There's actually 4 hits for the Orioles. They had 2 hits back in the 2nd inning by McCauley and Snyder. So now the line score for the Orioles, 2 runs on 4 hits. And of course, Hellertown tying things up with a pair of runs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. So it's a brand new ball game as we start the top half of the 4th inning with batters 7, 8, and 9. Pete McCauley, Dave Stout, and Andrew Snyder scheduled to bat. Dan Leah, the first pitch. Fastball misses upstairs for ball 1. McCauley singled to center his first time up and scored the 2nd run for the Orioles.
Hunka Miller told us, Chris, that he thought it was very important to jump on top of the Royals early. They did that, but it's been negated already. So whatever advantage they thought they had, they don't have right now. That time, Nicholas thought that was definitely a strike and called the ball.
Wind up and the 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses. Nope, hits the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike again. The second part of Punkin's keys to the game were to jump out early and then score 10 runs.
Oh, I forgot about that.
There's a foul out of play right field side. No lead is safe so far in this series.
Ironically, in the last game, 110-7 by the Orioles. They only scored in 1 inning. Otherwise, they were shut out in 6 of them.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss the slider. And that's the 3rd strikeout by Leah. And 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
Well, this is a perfect pitch. Looking and sitting on a fastball, because you almost have to do that with the kind of velocity he has. And instead, you take a lot of speed off, throw a slider out of the strike zone, and Pete goes after it.
Dave Stout steps in. He grounded out the 3rd as part of a hit-and-run attempt. Culley was off with the pitch, and Stout got his bat on the ball. Grounded out, moving the runner up to 2nd. Dan Leah making just his 3rd start of the season. Ball short hops Martin Nicholas behind the plate. Almost goes without saying, and a lot of times does get unnoticed, but we are in a championship game and we have 2 outstanding catchers, arguably 2 of the best catchers in the league this year, calling the pitchers for their staff. Blocking balls in the dirt, doing everything else catchers have.
You talk about Leah with just his 3rd start. This is his 13th appearance. So as we mentioned, he's done a lot of short inning work.
Late strike call that time. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dave Stout. Chops one to the right side. Over is DeBoer. Fields that one cleanly. Made a couple nice plays over there. And throws the first for out number 2. That will bring up Andrew Snyder.
You certainly see the problems that the hitters are having with that fastball. They're trying to sit on it, trying to do something with it, as the Orioles and the Royals both are pretty good power hitting ball clubs. But boy, you have to guess right, Chris, or you're going to look a little foolish.
It's the 6th out recorded by someone on the right side of the diamond. A couple ground balls to 2nd, a few fly balls to right. A pop out the 1st and a ground out the 1st. Snyder singled back in the 2nd inning, lifts one here. But coming in and making a sliding catch is Mike Ports. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Dan Leah here in the top of the 4th inning. First time he has retired the batters in order. No runs, no hits, and none left on.
Nice play by Bortz. He had to jump on it all the way. He uses that slide catch, which a lot of people use now, just to stay down on the ball. And he makes that 3rd out.
Swindy's Glove Relacing, sponsoring tonight's program. Don't replace it, relace it. Tom Swindy has been repairing baseball gloves for over 20 years. He not only laces gloves, but repairs torn and broken gloves as well. All his materials are top quality, and many different colors of lacing is available. Reasonable prices, along with a 3-year guarantee on every repair that's made. Check him out at swindysgloverelacing.com, and you can also mention this ad when contacting him and receive a $5 credit off any repair from the webpage price list. All at Swindy's Glove Relacing website.
Now we'll go back and take a look at the defensive play to end the inning. We are not. We're going to take a look at the pitcher. There you get a look at it. Sliding catch. Nice play by Mike Bortz.
Ricky Rivera will lead things off here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, followed by Kevin Thompson and Jake DeBoer. Orioles with a pair of runs through the first 3 innings. They had the early 2-0 lead, and then Hellertown answered back in the last bottom of the half inning. Nick Bowen with a leadoff bunt, sacrificed the second, and then came around on an Ian Burley hit. And because of a few errors, Hellertown tied the game up at 2 apiece.
Interesting, Eric Snyder, or Eric Charles in his email today, before he got to talk a little bit about giving up the presidency, he always gives me a little clue to the game. He said, I believe defensive play will come to the forefront. And that's been the key. Of the 4 runs, Chris, 3 of them are unearned because of errors.
First pitch was over, second one misses. So 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Rivera. Who would have thought you'd see 4 errors in this ball game as we enter the bottom of the 4th inning? 1 by the Orioles, 3 by Hellertown. Diving effort, but a seeing eye hit into left field, and Ricky Rivera, leadoff base runner, here in the bottom of the 4th.
And that's exactly what it was. It just was not hit all that hard, but it was hit in a perfect location. Dan Stahl couldn't get to it at third base, and Adam Sant couldn't get to it, the shortstop.
Rivera with just 1 stolen base on the season, but he can run. Kevin Thompson steps in. He struck out his first time up. Pitch misses outside, ball 1.
And again, Bob Zerfas showing small ball. He wants to get Rivera down to second base. Dan Stahl playing even with the bag at third.
No sign of a bunt by the hitter that time as Maradeo throws over to first. Field, of course, playing for 2. Now back over the grandstands, right field side. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Thompson. It's always a tough situation for the second baseman there because your first obligation is to cover the bag if the ball is hit on the left-hand side, try to get the double play. On the other hand, if he bunts the ball, you have to run all the way over and cover first if your first baseman comes in. I don't think Stout's going to come in here, though. He's going to play back and field his position.
So Zerf has taken the bunt off, now, of course, with 2 strikes. In fact, gave no signal at all on the previous pitch, so he's letting Thompson hit away.
The time is called by Thompson. Going to look to try to hit one in that hole on the right side.
Without question, this is the muggiest, most humid night we've had all year, so it's a tough night for the guys.
Chopper foul right at the plate. It also got a piece of Thompson. You don't see anyone wearing those ankle guards or those shin guards that's so predominant among the professionals. These guys are tough.
That's right. Those $1 million sissies. You get a look at it here as it'll bounce off the ground first and then hit Thompson in the knee.
I can see the shin guard. I hate that forearm though. And especially when you get guys leaning into pitches.
Like that?
Speaking of leaning into pitches, Thompson without the protector takes one for the club. And now the Royals have 2 on and nobody out here in the 4th.
He really did not try to get out of the way at all on that. And and of late we've seen that call made. Let's see if he tries to avoid being hit by the pitch. Oh, he actually leaned into it, Chris. I don't know. I think I might have brought him back.
And it has to be obvious. We saw in the replay it did look rather obvious. Home plate umpire's vision's a little blocked. There are two base umpires for the championship series. Jake DeBoer steps in. He's around to bunt, waves and misses. So that's strike one.
Big situation here now for both ball clubs.
Third baseman Stahl is playing back with the bag, and the first baseman Stout is charging. So DeBoer has to try to hit this area to the right of the pitcher. Keep it towards the line.
Stout would make the play at third.
Bunts
They
it
got
high,
the
and then
rotation.
it drops foul, and he's in the hole, 0-2.
The little things, Chris, huh? They don't get the bunt down. I'm sure they're going to take the bunt off now.
They sacrificed in the third inning, and it produced a run.
They had Stout coming in, and they had Snyder moving towards first, which means the pitcher's job would have been to cover the third base line.
Stout at first is still playing in front of the runner. Dan Stahl at third is now a step behind the bag. 0-2 pitch, no sign of a bunt. Takes a pitch for a ball.
Situation where Maradeo wants a strikeout. DeBoer, at the very least, wants to hit the ball on the right side.
Rivera at second, Thompson at first. Nobody out. Tie ball game here in the bottom of the fourth. The wind in the 1-2. Low, ball two. 2 balls and 2 strikes to DeBoer.
Maradeo has 2 strikeouts, one in the first and one in the second. That or a lazy pop fly to the infield would be exactly what Matt would like. Gets a piece of that and stays alive at 2-2. Infield in double play depth now. They'll give up the runner going to third to get a double play and try to get out of this inning.
2-2 pitch again, outside. For a second, McCauley was going to appeal, but really, the board did little much more than take the bat off the shoulder.
Boy, Chris, do you run here?
How much confidence do you have in DeBoer? Do you think he can make contact? Sure. Runners stay put. Pitch is a called third strike, and there's one out here in the bottom of the fourth.
No argument from Jake. As a good 3-2 pitch. Take a look at it. Just caught the outside part of the plate.
That's why Bob Surfoss did not send the runners. One out for Mark Nicholas. He flied out to center his first time up.
He almost pulled the leaf roll again. He put that ball just a little to the left of the leaf. That got him a home run in game 1.
This pitch misses inside for a ball. Pitch. It's over for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nicholas. By the way, if you hear whistles going in formation, there's a Pee-wee football practice that just started a little while ago.
You look at a good pitch. Fastball that tails away from left-handers. The book on Maradeo is that he has particular trouble with left-handers.
Swing and a miss.
Chris, and it's not quite understandable because his fastball moves away.
I think he's been having trouble controlling that tailing fastball and throwing it for strikes. If you're wild with it, it's a tough pitch to kind of control and throw in it when you really need a key pitch to throw, like we are right here. You got to have confidence in that pitch. 1-2 pitch, fouled or popped up left side of the field. Coming in is Washburn, the left fielder. He squeezes it for out number 2, and the runners have to stay put again.
And Maradeo now sees a chance to get out of this inning with no damage after a base hit by Rivera and a hit by pitch by Thompson. 2 men on and nobody out. Now he'll try to work Nick Bowen into a 3rd out and no damage.
Maradea really jammed Nicholas on that last pitch. Got up and in. Nicholas just skied the ball out to Washburn. So we had a strikeout and a lazy fly out. Now Nick Bowen, who singled his last time up, bunt singled his way on back in the third inning and scored a run. Fastball catches the corner for strike one. Nick Bowen, one of the outstanding arms for the Royals. We could see him later in this ball game. Surfas wasn't quite sure which direction he would go if Dan Leah needed help. That pitch misses high, 1-1.
He was thinking Amy, but Amy's just got back from a wedding in the Caribbean. Not his. He was there as a guest. Or Bowen as a potential reliever, and you almost think you need to relieve Leah because he's not a complete game kind of guy.
Chopper fielded on a couple hops by Stout, steps on the bag, and the side is retired. The Royals, with 2 base runners on to lead off the fourth, come away with nothing. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left on base.
Here you get a look at the first baseman as he made the important play, and an easy chopper right here. So it's Stout, unassisted.
After 4 full, we're tied at 2.
Hometown sports and community affairs. This is RCN TV.
We head to the top half of the 5th inning, game 3 of the Blue Mountain League Championship Series. The Orioles and the Royals tied at 1 game apiece, 2-2. As we start the top half of the 5th inning with the top of the Orioles order, Garrison Roush, Dan Stahl, and Adam Sant to lead things off.
So the RCN sign. RCN now has TiVo Premier. What comes in a box but is out of this world. New TiVo Premier from RCN. Make every night movie night. Bring your music and photos to life. Get thousands of web content channels. Never miss a show. Control live or recorded television, network, multiple DVRs. It all comes with TiVo Premier. 1-800-RING-RCN.
Roush has reached base twice in this ball game, singled and walked. He's also scored a run tonight. And Leah settling in to start his 5th inning on the mound. He's given up 4 hits so far. He's struck out 3 and has walked just 1.
Not giving up an earned run. And Chris, I don't think he's gone more than 5 innings in any game this year.
Roush behind in the count, 0-2. Took something off that one and missed upstairs. 1-2 to Roush. Roush has more stolen bases than anyone else for either team coming into this ball game with 14.
Comes the slider.
Jammed a bit. Nicholas will run out of room. It's back over the backstop.
Our center field camera, Chris, doing what the Phillies were accused of doing. We're stealing signs.
The only question is, how do we get that information to the hitters?
Well, we better not.
For doing what the Phillies did. Allegedly did.
That's right. Here's a fastball. At the knees.
1-2 pitch. Just missed.
We got the fastball at the knees. Just a hair outside.
It was a bit strange how the Phillies went into the hitting slump right after that incident. Leah, the windup, and the 2-2. Breaking ball sliced down the line. It's a foul ball. And Roush, who thought he had a double, he's halfway to second base, will have to come all the way back.
There you get another look at it, and this one is even a little bit closer than the other one that went foul on the right side. Chris, you talk about those scandals. The Patriots didn't do nearly as well either after they were caught filming other teams' practices. So what's the moral of the story? I'm not quite sure. Does cheating benefit or?
No, never. 2-2 pitch, misses low, 3-2. Nicholas trying to frame that a little bit. A few of the Orioles players shouting over there, how long are you going to hold that one? Doesn't often work. Sometimes umpires will get annoyed at that too if you hold it there too long.
Fastball, inside part of the plate.
3-2 pitch, popped up. Nicholas off of the mask, coming towards the dugout. Now moving over and makes the catch for out number 1 here in the 5th.
Like I said, here's a guy that never caught a baseball game until a year ago. And there's no harder play, Chris, for a catcher than this one. He fights with it, but he makes the play. Not attractively, but he makes the play.
Actually, I heard someone too from the Hellertown dugout shouting, hey, didn't hear who has that. Let's help him out a little bit, because no one was around him. Dan Stahl steps in. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out the first and popped out the first. Though this is not an easy place to field balls in foul territory. Behind the backstop, you go downhill. There's some dirt spots directly behind home plate if you go over towards the backstop. And of course, if you come over to the opposing team's dugout, they're not going to help you. No pitch. That one's over. 1 ball and 1 strike to Stahl.
Between the lines, they do a nice job of keeping this field in good condition. And I don't think we've ever gotten here. The crew gets here pretty early for a baseball game. I don't think they've ever gotten here without Bob Zerfas already being here and working on the field.
Grounds crew does an excellent job. When we say crew, we mean Bob.
Some of his teammates, his players come a little early and help as best they can, but it's mostly him.
Line drive in the gap into left center field, coming over, cutting it off before it gets too far. Down in center field is Mike Forts. A 1-out single for Dan Stahl, and the Orioles have a base runner on for Adam Sant.
Off the bat, this looked like it might be a gapper, but it didn't quite have the juice on it that it appeared it did. It just got it off the end of the bat a little bit, and Forts with a nice play not to allow that ball to get anywhere near getting by him, and he holds Stahl to a single.
Sant took a long look over to the dugout, and the reason for that is checking out what Punkin Miller has to say. He gives the signs right from the dugout.
The Orioles have been running tonight, and Stahl has 6 stolen bases.
And Stahl will take off here as a ball hit right in front of Nicholas. A wild pitch. And stopping at second after taking a big turn is Dan Stahl.
We'll just reiterate, Chris, what we pointed out earlier. It is not the norm for Dan Leah to go more than 5 innings. He's only done it, I think, once all year. And we're in the 5th inning now, so you may look for some signs that he could be tiring a little bit.
And with that, a couple people leaving the Royals dugout towards the bullpen. That pitch is over, 1-1. Adam Sant, league MVP. So far tonight, 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
Stahl's hit was the first in the series for him. He's 1 for 9 now.
Sant checks a swing at a pitch in the dirt, 2-1.
Nice play by Nicholas. Ryan Amy is warming up for the Royals.
2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Adam Sant chased the pitch again. He is having some trouble picking up Leah's pitches tonight. He struck out on a pitch out of the zone his first time up. Runner at second, 1 out, 2-2 pitch. And gets a piece of it. Stays even at 2-2.
Chris, I'm watching Ryan Amy warm up. And the norm is you go into the bullpen area and you loosen the arm up a little bit, you kind of lob the ball a little bit. He's been throwing nothing but BBs from the moment he threw his first pitch.
We saw Amy earlier this year. Seemed to warm up for about 25 minutes before a ball game. So maybe he's due for a quick warm-up. Just coming off the plane. Here's a ball lined foul down the left field side, out of play.
Tried to change speeds there on Sant. He jumped out in front of it.
So look at Amy warming up. If you have Leah starting and you have potentially Bowen and Amy you could bring into a bullpen, out of the bullpen. Makes you want to try to get some runs before they do have to take some action if you're the Orioles. And Sant, again, just gets a piece of it.
That ball really was bouncing on the plate when he hit it. But you don't have a lot of reaction time against this guy.
One advantage, too, for both Amy and especially for Bowen. They're both rubber-armed guys. So if they pitch today, especially if it's only for a couple batters, they could come back and start conceivably on Thursday. That pitch is low. They're doing a good job of working Leah here in the 5th inning.
You've asked about the availability of Leah through the rest of the playoffs because he's a Cornell student, and Bob Zerfas says, I have everybody now for the rest of the playoffs. Not the case with the Orioles. They lost Caleb Fick, who won the last ball game, as he came in Sunday and got the win in relief, gave up only 1 run in 3 1/3 innings. But he had to go back to be the Lebanon Valley quarterback, so he no longer is here.
And Adam Sant, who fell behind in that plate appearance, works a walk. Runners at 1st and 2nd for Tom Stout. Tom has announced this will be his last year in the BML. Would like to go out as a BML champion. Leah's first pitch. Big swing, fouled, and will get over the backstop and out of play.
Two very dangerous hitters, Stout and Seltzer, the next two to face Leah. Unless he can somehow coerce Stout to ground into a double play.
Stout and Seltzer now in this series have combined to go 4 for 14. A home run and 2 RBIs. That pitch missed. No, a late strike call. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Leah ready, a check of the runners in the 0-2. Blowing away as he wastes one. Royals infield playing for 2. Outfielders are straight away. Set in the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and hit foul and caught in foul ground by Kevin Thompson for out number 2. As Stahl and Sant have to stay put at 2nd and 1st.
This is a weird hit. The ball off the bat looks like, it's just going to be a foul ball and get ready to throw another pitch. But instead, it just kind of stays up in the air and doesn't go anywhere. And that allows Kevin Thompson, certainly not a great swing, and an easy play, 2 down.
I'll bring up Rick Seltzer. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Flied out to right, grounded out to 2nd. Bob Zerfas out with Dan Leah.
Well, they're certainly talking about Seltzer. Seltzer's the kind of guy that you will intentionally walk in some situations, but they don't want to move a runner to 3rd base, I'm sure. But just reminding his pitcher, Dan Leah, let's make sure you concentrate. Don't lose focus to this guy. He could quickly make a 3-run lead for starters.
And Leah does have some good conversation skills. His first start, he was only supposed to go 3 innings. He talked his way through the 4th and then through the 5th inning before he finally got pulled.
Seltzer in the series now 2 for 7 with an RBI and a home run.
First pitch to Seltzer, misses low.
It took a great play by DeBoer to keep him from getting a base hit in the 3rd inning. A diving play by the 2nd baseman.
Like Leah threw a changeup there to start Seltzer off. That one's a fastball right there for strike 1. Zerfas might have talked him into saying, let's start him off with a changeup just to keep him off balance.
Punkin's been a little worried about Rick's bat because he thinks that he just has played so much baseball that he's a little tired.
And I think he offered it that one, the appeal. Yes, he did go around. Bob Varyu bringing him up. And now Seltzer's behind in the count 1-2.
Leah came in with a 0.90 ERA, has not given up an earned run tonight.
1-2 pitch, this low. 2-2 to Seltzer. Mark Washburn, who's had some key hits the last week or so, waiting on deck.
See a fastball in, not a bunch of signals being flashed. Doesn't matter.
Called 3rd strike. 4th one by Leah tonight, and it comes at a big moment. as the Orioles had 2 men on with 1 out and failed to score here in the top half of the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left on base. We'll head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. We are still tied at 2-2. Braun and Turco is with us this evening. Formerly the R.R. Braun Insurance and Turco Associates, providing the highest quality insurance products and customer service since 1947. Proud sponsors of Blue Mountain League Baseball again this season. Their office is located at 1501 South 4th Street in Allentown. Give them a call at 610-797-5828 for auto, home, and business life insurance needs.
Be interesting to see if that was indeed Leah's last inning of the ball game. See whether he comes back out in the 6th. Game 4 in this series will be Thursday night at Egypt Memorial Park, scheduled for 5:45. Chris, I think game 5, if necessary, right back here, I believe 1:30 on Saturday.
Afternoon game, yep.
Here you get a look at Pumpkin Miller. 38 years with the organization. Might this be his final year? There are rumors to that effect. I don't know. I can't imagine the Orioles without Pumpkin Miller. He's been part of them for all of their existence. And that existence is the Allentown Orioles, the Egypt Orioles, the Strohs Orioles, the Bancos Orioles, the RCN Orioles, the Poly Steel Orioles, the Starters Orioles. Well, they've had a lot of first names, Chris. He also is the voice of the Allentown Fair.
Scheduled to bat here for the Royals. Mike Bortz will lead things off. Ian Burley and Chris Grinovitsky to follow.
The Royals have left 4 on base, and the Orioles have left 6 so far on base.
Bortz sacrifices last time up helped set up a run for Hellertown. Also popped out to first. Batters between innings are stopping by the water coolers and the water fountains behind the backstop, making a longer break between innings. Can't blame him. Bortz fouls one back to the screen. 0-1 to Bortz. This ball is hit well to center field. Coming in is Roush. He'll have to play it on a hop. And Mike Bortz, a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, I would think now, at this stage in the ball game, that Bob Zerfoss would indeed sacrifice, although Ian Burley is 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Good piece of hitting there by Mike Bortz.
Burley handles the bat so well. Bob might just say to Ian, if you think you can hit the ball on the right side, go ahead and do it. Or if Ian feels more comfortable bunting, he could do that.
He doesn't give you a big strike zone either.
He's around to bunt. Runner takes off. Pitches a ball. Throw down to second is high and not in time. Stolen base. 7th of the year for Mike Bortz.
And a big one, perhaps the biggest of the year. The first stolen base of the game for the Royals. And that's better than having Burley bunt, although now he may want to bunt him to third. Good jump. Throws a little high. No contest.
Brian Reynolds did not raise the right arm, but he apparently called it a strike. They marked it as a strike on the scoreboard. The pitch bounces up there. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That was almost an impossible play by McCauley defensively. I don't know if we have another look at it, but how tough was this play by the catcher? When a ball bounces that far in front of home plate, he keeps it in front of him. Watch this.
Ball hit up the middle. Fielded there by Sant. Bobbles, recovers, throws high, and not in time. Safe at the corners. Bortz at third, Burley at first. And still nobody out here in the 5th.
Errors have loomed so large tonight. That's the 2nd one by starters. There have been 3 errors that have led to the 2 runs by the Royals. And this is just a bad throw. Kept the ball in front of him, checked the runner at third, and threw the ball high.
And it looked like Tom Stout thought he was going to come right down on the bag, and it Did that little back step, it wasn't there, and had to try to make a play on with the glove hand. Chris Grinovitsky takes one over for strike one. He's 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out tonight.
2 for 9 in the series with a run scored.
Good speed with Bortz at third and Burley at first. Infield playing for 2. 0-1 pitch. Popped up. Shallow center field. Roush coming in. Makes the catch. Runner tagging. Here comes the throw. It will be cut off. The throw to second is not in time. And Hellertown takes a 3-2 lead on a sacrifice fly by Chris Grinovitsky here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
That will be an RBI and some good base running by Burley to get down to second base. Although, if Tom Stout's throw is on the runner's side of the bag, I think he's out. But it was not. And Burley at second after the run scores. You get a look at it. Stout's where he belongs as a cutoff man. He makes the right play here. The run's going to score.
Marcangelo stepping in and fouls one down the first base side out of play. Angelo's 0 for 1 with a walk. And now with Burley moving up, you have a runner in scoring position and a chance to add another run here in the 5th. Angelo leads the team with 30 RBIs, among the league leaders in just about every offensive category, and that's going to take one hop and go over the fence. A ground rule double. Burley comes in to score. An RBI two-bagger for Marcangelo, and the Royals take a 4-2 lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, this guy wasn't the second best hitter in the Blue Mountain League for nothing, and here he gets an opportunity to jump on this pitch, and it's a one-hopper over the fence for the RBI double. That is his 3rd RBI of the series. And one and over and scoring. Chris from second is Ian Burley.
Ricky Rivera steps to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Single to left and flied out to center. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Hellertown trailed this ball game 2-0 heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hellertown had to come from behind in game 1 to capture that victory, and then gave up a lead in game 2 to lose. That's a fair ball down the first base line. Rounding third is Angelo. He'll come in to score. Rivera on his way to third base. The throw is going to be late. It's a sliding triple for Ricky Rivera as the Royals now take a 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
So just a good piece of hitting, going with a pitch on the outside part of the plate and puts it right inside the chalk to drive in Angelo with the 3rd run of the inning, the 3rd base hit of the inning around an error and a sacrifice. And Rivera hustles his way all the way to third base.
Rivera looked like he took a bit of a shot at the end of that play. It ended up being a close play. The fielders out there didn't get to the ball by the time Rivera was around second base running with a full head of steam, and still they had a play on. But he's now at third with 1 out for Kevin Thompson. Thompson's 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch ball his last time up. Infield comes in, and the first pitch is swung on and missed by Thompson.
Punkin does not have the luxury that Bob Zerfas has. He does not have a very deep pitching staff. And he may just have to stay with Maradeo.
Jason Sigley is beginning to loosen in the Orioles bullpen. Steve Monshine pitched on Sunday. As you get a look at Sigley warming up. As Gary mentioned earlier, Caleb Fick, one of their other top pitchers, is not available for the rest of the series. Here's a chopper right back to the pitcher, has to hold the runner at third. The throw to first is in time for out number 2. A big out for the Orioles.
You're trying to keep that 4th run of the inning from scoring and giving them a 4-run lead.
Jake DeBoer will step in. He's 0 for 2. He was called out on strikes his last time up. Infield can now back up. DeBoer had 3 hits through the first 2 games of this series with an RBI. Ardeo continues to work out of the stretch, and this ball is hit to right field, but Seltzer's moving over, has it lined up, and squeezes it for the final out of the inning. But a good one for Hellertown as they score 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. After 5 full innings of play, it's now Hellertown 5 and the Orioles 2.
Your home for local sports and community events.
Along with Gary Laubach, Chris Michael back at Dimmick Park in Hellertown, Game 3 of the Blue Mountain League Championship Series. I mentioned Pumpkin Miller, the voice of the fair, last half inning. So to let people know, RCN will be out at the fair. 3 special nights of sports talk at the Farmerama Theater. We'll be doing our show live from 6 to 7 o'clock all 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, starting August 31st, which is the free preview night. We'll be giving prizes away all 3 nights, including some Jeff Dunham tickets to the ventriloquist and great comedian who was at the fair last year, and some other great prizes. So come on out to the fair. Our Tuesday free preview night will be a high school sports reunion show. We hope to get a great response for that, and if we get a good response this year featuring Allen and Deeriff high schools, we look to do more of that in future years with some other schools in the Lehigh Valley area. Mark Washburn leads things off here for the Orioles in the 6th. For the first time tonight, they come to bat trailing. Washburn takes 1 pitch over for a strike, the second one missed. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Washburn.
They got a run in the first and a run in the second, both unearned. So they have not done a lot of damage against Dan Leah.
The pitch missed wide. Washburn with a couple big hits in Game 2. Also scored 2 runs.
I guess, Chris, with this situation, Dan's leash is going to be kind of short with Amy in the bullpen and ready. And now 3-1.
And now that you have a lead, too, you want to try to protect it and try to finish off the series on Thursday to avoid Game 5. Leah winds 3-1 pitch is over for strike 2. Leah has struck out 4 batters, walked 2 through the first 5 innings.
Big pitch in the inning.
3-2 pitch, fouled back to the screen. Washburn stays alive. Pete McCulley and Dave Stout waiting in the wings. Jason Siglia stopped throwing for the moment in the Orioles bullpen. Beyond the mound, the windup and the 3-2 pitch. Chopper up the middle. Rinovitsky fields it, throws, and out number 1 is in the books.
Not quite sure what happened on that play because Chris looked like he was fooled by it. I don't know whether it was the bounce, but he looked like he was heading deeper towards second base and then made a quick stop. Let's see, watch him right here. Whoop, I guess it was the bounce, Chris. It bounced the other way.
Seen a few tricky hops around the infield today. Pete McCauley steps in. He's 1 for 2. He singled and scored a run. He's also struck out. First pitch misses for ball 1.
So far, the teams have won in their home ballpark. And that's so far has been the script tonight.
Mentioned last week, McCauley has been doing a nice job on RCN. Well, he's done a nice job the last 2 ball games, getting a pair of hits and 2 RBIs in each ball game. Here's a grounder to first. Thompson will have to use his pitcher covering to get out number 2. 3-1 in the books. Like bring up Dave Stout.
Pete broke his bat. Come on, Dave. Wooden bats. It's a wooden bat league. Everybody seems to like that.
Come on, David. Dave Stout's 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts tonight.
Come on, Dave.
I think one of the stories I read from one of the previous games in the championship series was one of the home run hitters had broken his bat his previous time up and had to use someone else's bat who had hit a home run. And then he hit one out of the park.
That was Nicholas, I believe, on the leaf ball.
Come on, Dave.
Now You would think they'd be taking very good care of that bat tonight. Wind up in the 1-1. Got jammed and fist this one to second base. DeBoer up with it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Dan Leah here in the top of the 6th inning. If there's any thoughts about going to the bullpen last half inning, none here as he retires the side. 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, and none left on base. Through 5.5, Hellertown now leads 5 to 2.
That means we go back to our trivia question, brought to you by Starters, Starters Pub, Starters Riverport, Starters Clubhouse. 5 players on the rosters of the Royals and the Orioles have 20 or more years in the Blue Mountain League. Who are they? Well, we said there are 2 on the Royals, and 1, Chris, he's on the roster, and he did bat, even though he is the manager for 33 years. Chris Sewell is the other one. As we check quickly, Chris Sewell has how many years? Chris Sewell 20 years, Bob Zerfas 33 years. For the Orioles, Mark Washburn with 21, Dave Stout with 22, and Mike Deutsch, who is back with the Orioles 20 years. Mike Deutsch. Talk about his arm, it's not available. He hurt his arm and he's done for the season.
And Bob got a hit, by the way, in his plate appearance.
I think he's 1 for 2 on the season. He didn't appear until very late. We thought we might get him to bat in a TV game.
Yeah, we had it all set up too. Yeah. Could have done it there. But now, of course, that hit can take on a story of its own, that he rocketed it off the fence, the 384 sign. Or
well, he's batted, and I think he's had hits in 6 decades. 6 decades. He's played for, he struck out his first time up this year, but I think he got a base hit in the last ball game.
Just like last week up in Egypt, we have a good crowd here at Dimmick Park. In Game 3 of the championship series between Hellertown and the Starters Orioles. Both ball clubs with very strong fan base, supporting them throughout the playoffs.
And you can support them on Thursday night at Egypt Memorial Park, and if necessary, back here on Saturday afternoon for what would be Game 5 in the championship.
Matt Maradeo starts his 6th inning of work. Mark Nicholas, the first batter, and he takes one wide for ball 1. Mark's 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts tonight. 1-0 pitch is lifted to right center field. Seltzer going over. Has some room in front of the fence, and he stays with it and makes the catch for out number 1.
Well, Nicholas has hit the ball hard on each occasion. High fly balls. He has flied out to left, flied out to center, and flied out to right. He's using the whole field.
Bowen will step in. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. The Orioles always get noticed for their hitting. Certainly they were right up there in most offensive categories again this year, but their pitchers, they allow the fewest earned runs and the fewest hits of any team in the BML.
Orioles
as bunting and missing is Nick Bowen.
Just to prove your point, Chris, the Orioles as a team hit 387 and the Royals as a team hit 386. So they were 1-2. And the Orioles had the best ERA of the year, 2.63. The Royals at 2.92. They were 1-3 in pitching ERA.
Swing and a miss. Ardea took something off of that. Bowen's in the cold, 0-2. Also, one other note for the Orioles pitchers this year, all 9 hurlers have an ERA that is under 3.80. We don't even have one guy in there for mop-up duty that gets his ERA blown up. Nothing over 3.80 for anyone on the staff this year. Wind up, and the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Again, looked like that was a breaking ball. And Maradeo gets his 4th strikeout of the night and 2nd out here in the 6th.
Here's the guy that started everything in the 5th. Mike Bortz will come to the plate. As boy, that's a perfect slider. Good pitch, hard pitch to hit. Keep it down.
Mike Bortz singled, stole the base, and scored a run his last time up. He started that 5th inning off. They scored 3 times in the 5th. Took their first lead of the night, and if they hang on, they'll take a 2-1 series lead. That pitch misses inside and low. Bortz with a home run in Game 1 to lead the Royals' victory. And to come from behind when they trailed 3-0 after 4.5 innings. That pitch is fouled out of play right side.
We want to thank everybody associated with the Blue Mountain League for allowing us again to bring you our Blue Mountain League Game of the Week every Tuesday night. It's been a pleasure. We enjoy our association with the league. We'll miss Eric Charles, but I'm sure, like everything else, it'll all just keep going on and on. This league, what, over 60 years, Chris, huh?
And they have already begun their search for a president. We're told that they're going to be making some calls and conducting interviews in the next few weeks, and they want to try to have that position locked up shortly after the banquet in September. That pitch misses low. Airedale's been shaking off McCauley a couple times here in this inning. Eric Charles will remain president of the league until the banquet, which will be later in September. That pitch missed off the plate. Just a second walk issued by Maradeo. And Bortz is a 2-out base runner for Ian Burley.
And I would guess you could bet the house he's going to steal, or at least attempt to steal. Get himself in a position to score a run on a base hit. He has the only Royals stolen base of the night.
Bortz leads away from first. Burley's 2 for 3. Reached base all 3 times as the runner takes off. Throw down there. Gets through to center field. Bortz is going to take off to third base, and he'll get there without a throw. Second stolen base for Bortz, and he's now at third base. And that pitch was called a strike. So no balls and 1 strike on Burley.
And an error on the catcher on the throw. You'll take a look at it here. That's the 3rd error of the ball game by the Royals. I'm a little surprised, Chris, that Maradeo did not try to check him a couple of times. I think everybody in the ballpark knew that Bortz would be running.
Which is in the dirt, gets away from McCauley. Coming in to score will be Mike Bortz as he manufactures a run, a walk, a stolen base, an error, and then a wild pitch.
Look how easy. You get the first batter out, the second batter out, and then you walk Bortz, and Bortz runs himself right into a run. No chance here for Pete McCauley.
1-1 pitch missed low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Burley, who's had a couple hits tonight, scored a run, and knocked in a run. Hellertown trailed 2-0 heading into the 3rd, tied things up. Took a 5-2 lead in the 5th inning, and now up by 4 runs. Pitch misses away. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Those free passes.
Catches the corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Burley. And of course, Punkin Miller has to worry about who's going to throw for him on Thursday night, and hope that if this lead stays the same, hope that you're going to have a game 5. So Maradeo might be out there no matter what happens in this inning. Grounder up the middle and into center field. Ian Burley, his 3rd hit of the ball game. 8th hit on the night for the Royals.
And that will,
Grinovitsky stepping to the plate, trying to keep the rally alive.
this base hit will make that run an earned run. The error got him to 3rd, so with the wild pitch not quite earned yet, but that base hit makes it an earned run. So 6 runs and 4 of them now earned in the ball game.
Grinovitsky plated a run his last time up on a fly ball to center field. He's 0 for 2 otherwise. First pitch missed. 1 ball and no strikes to Grinovitsky.
Well, we mentioned Burley feeling a little woozy before the game. Well, he didn't play a woozy game. 3 for 4 with a couple of runs scored and an RBI.
Grinovitsky fouls one back to the backstop. That 2-hole hitter is so key in your lineup. We mentioned a couple times how well he handles the bat. He can move runners over. He puts the ball in play, which is what you really want out of that 2 spot. And he also takes some pitches. He allowed Mike Bortz a chance to steal base, and that set up a run. Well, Jason Sigley again is warming up in the Orioles bullpen. Another possibility here. Punkin might pull Maradeo and keep him available for a couple hitters on Thursday if needed. 2-1 pitch. Fly ball, right center field. Going back is roused to the fence, but it's gone. 2-run home run, Chris Grinovitsky here in the 6th inning. And the Royals now take an 8-2 lead.
RBIs 2 and 3 on the night for Grinovitsky. He had 2 home runs during the regular season. Boy, he absolutely jacked this one as it goes almost towards the house. The tree stopped it. And we may get ourselves a pitching change. Watch this.
Out to the mound.
This is going to be a fastball down the middle and goodbye.
Grinovitsky with 2 round trippers during the regular season. His first one here in the championship series, as Maradeo will have to leave the ball game. Couldn't get that 3rd out. Got the first 2 outs and then gave up 3 runs here in the 6th. And Jason Sigley will be the pitcher. Sigley on the regular season pitched in 8 ball games, had a 3-3 record, pitched 3 complete ball games. Had a 3.80 ERA, allowed 21 earned runs, 32 hits, hit 1 batter, struck out 34, and walked 35. He started 7 of those 8 ball games, so this will be his 2nd relief appearance on the season.
And to close out the book on Maradeo with nobody on base, 5 2/3. He gives up 8 runs, 6 of them earned, 9 base hits. He walked 2, struck out 4. And he is in danger of losing his first ball game of the year, although it won't be part of the regular season record.
I mentioned Maradeo might come back on 1 night's rest and pitch on Thursday in situations. And what the Orioles are looking at is all hands on deck. It's an elimination game, so anyone who can pitch might be available for that game on Thursday at Egypt's Memorial Park. They try to force a game 5.
And those 3 runs, Chris, could very easily keep Ryan Amy on the bench and not get him into the ball game. Just let Dan Leah go out there and finish.
Yeah, this was a much more important ball game for the Orioles, even though they were on the road. They do not have the depth of the Royals right now, who basically had their number 1 and number 2 pitchers take a pass tonight. They were available to come out of the bullpen. They are now ready to go for game 4 if they want to go for the kill on Thursday night. Sigley working out of the stretch. First pitch to Mark Angelo. This is for ball 1. Looked like Brian Reynolds flipped that. He might be wearing down his right arm. The signal's getting a little bit lower as the game's going on.
It's a late strike call, that's for sure. I think he yells it, but with our headsets on, we have trouble hearing that.
0-1 pitch. Hits Angelo. 2nd hit batter of the night.
You can't get that 3rd out. Had 2 outs and nobody on. And now it's 3 runs and a runner on.
Ricky Rivera will step in. He's 2 for 3. He singled to left, tripled to right, knocked in a run. This ball is hit well down the line, off the glove of Stahl and into left field. Rounding second on his way to 3rd is Angelo. He'll stop there. Stopping at first base is Rivera, his 3rd consecutive hit. 5 consecutive base runners here for the Orioles here in the 6th.
Well, he's hit them in different parts of the ballpark, but he has 3 hits, an RBI. As this one, he hits right down the line. He got around on it. And Dan Stahl did everything he could to try to knock it down. Could not. And runners on the corners now with 2 outs.
Kevin Thompson's 0 for 2. Got hit by a pitch. Ball in the dirt. It gets away from McCauley, and coming in to score will be Angelo. Rounding second on his way to 3rd is Rivera. So the Royals tack on another run here in the 6th. Rivera advances 2 bases on the wild pitch, and things continue to snowball downhill for the Orioles.
Boy, has this game gotten ugly in the last couple of innings for the Orioles. So the 4th run of the inning comes in. It's now 9-2.
1-0 pitch is hit well to left field, coming in, taking it on a hop, and then off the glove of Mark Washburn. Rivera scores easily. The throw to second will be late as Thompson reaches base on an RBI hit. And the Royals tack on another run and lead 10-2 here in the 6th.
So he gets a double, his first hit of the ball game. He gets an RBI. Rivera scores his first run of the ball game. And it was just hit hard, and Washburn couldn't get to it.
Hellertown batting around here in the 6th. All of these runs coming with 2 outs. Jake DeBoer, the 9th man to step in, and takes one inside for ball 1.
All of the base runners have come with 2 outs.
Sigley stretches. This ball is hit well to left field. Washburn coming over. He has it lined up, and he makes the catch, and the inning finally comes to an end. But not before 6 consecutive base runners reach base. 5 runs are scored, 4 hits, and 1 man left on base. There was also 1 error in the inning. Gary Laubach returns for play-by-play in the 7th after 6 full innings. The Royals lead it 10-2.
Welcome back. Could very well be our final inning of Blue Mountain League Baseball for the 2010 season. It won't be the final pitch, however, as these teams will go at it again on Thursday night, each at Memorial Park. I want to get over there and see whether Hellertown wins the championship or see whether or not the Orioles extend this series to a Game 5.
And I think you touched on a good point by those insurance runs that the Royals tacked on in the bottom half of the last inning, keeping Ryan Amy out of the ball game. That's a very daunting task to have to go 2 games facing both of those guys fresh. Amy hasn't pitched in over a week. He's been out of the country. And then Bowen has that rubber arm, hasn't pitched since Saturday. So both guys will be available for games 4 and then if necessary game 5.
Yeah, definitely arm strength advantage Hellertown right now. That is strike 1 to Andrew Snyder, who steps in, and he chops one that will go foul, and he'll be behind in the count 0-2. Andrew 1 for 2 with a base hit in the 2nd. He flied out to center in the 4th.
He was fooled by that pitch, got way out on his front foot, and did all he could just to get some contact with it, dribble it foul.
Leah has been as advertised. He's had a good fastball all night. He has not given up an earned run. He has only given up 5 hits. He gave up 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 2nd. Otherwise, he has pretty much controlled this baseball game as far as the Orioles bats are concerned, and that's not easy to do. They are the best hitting team in the Blue Mountain League.
No base runner got further than 2nd since the 2nd inning. And a lot of people thought the early part of the game was going to be his strong suit, and he would tire. He's actually gotten stronger the last couple innings.
As you say that, he throws his worst pitch of the night.
He's just wasting it. Rushing Snyder back. Snyder got his first hit of the series earlier tonight.
The best change they make for the playoffs is starting the games at 5:45. Otherwise, it would be getting hard to see by now. Did he go? He fouled it off. Snyder's a tough out. He's 1 for 7 in the playoffs.
He might be one of the brightest surprises this year. This is his first year that he's gotten a chance to play on a regular basis, played a couple different positions. Ended the year, the regular season, hitting over 300 after struggling the first couple weeks of the year.
And I think when he tried out for this baseball team, he probably wasn't even sure he was going to make it. Not only did he make it, he became an important part of the ball club, offensively and defensively. He hit .316 during the regular season. The Cornell senior looking to win his 3rd ball game of the year.
Ooh. And Leah hasn't shaken off too many pitches tonight. He did shake off his catcher there, and whatever he threw was close.
Well, everybody in a Royal uniform thought that was strike 3.
back to the fastball.
2-2. And the count is full. Now, the last thing in the world Dan Leah wants to do is walk the leadoff batter here in the 7th with an 8-run lead. Instead, he's going to give up a base hit. So a good at-bat again by Andrew Snyder. Boy, he just doesn't give in, Chris.
Fell behind 0-2, fouled off a bunch of pitches, and got that fastball up. It's Gary said you don't want to walk anybody here, so you're going to fire one right down the middle and make the batter beat you, and Snyder does exactly that. Serves it into right field, and he's a leadoff base runner. This is the best time to start a rally because now you turn the lineup over, you already have a man on base, and no one's out.
So here's Garrison Roush, 1 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. He fouled out to the catcher in the 5th, had a base hit in the 1st and scored with a stolen base, and walked in the 2nd. 0-1 to Roush.
Obviously not holding Snyder on with an 8-run lead.
Upstairs, 1-1.
Often wonder too, since you're not holding the runner on anyway, for pitchers that are more comfortable with the windup, why not just go back to the windup? Let him take that base. You're up by 8.
And in their mind is you can't run because you're down by 8. That should be playable. Shortstop Grinovinsky will roam under it and put it away for out number 1. 2 outs away from taking a 2-1 lead in the championship series.
It's amazing how compatible these two teams were this year. Both teams came from behind in a couple ways because the Royals were a come-from-behind team. They would win games in the 4th, 5th, 6th innings a lot this year. And remember, the Orioles started the first month of the season. They were in 5th place and out of the playoff picture. They had to win 10 in a row to jump back into the playoff race.
Well, this is an interesting trip to the mound. An 8-run lead. And Zerf once again will be talked out of taking Dan Lee out of the ball game. He didn't even get a chance to get to the mound.
Brian Amy again warming up in the bullpen. Zerf might have came out there and said, all right, maybe you got one more batter or 2 batters. Which Leah has to still give him the ball. May not let it go.
That might be an interesting battle to end the game. Strike 1 to Dan Stahl. Stahl comes in 1 for 3. Grounded to first in the 1st. Popped foul to for the first baseman in the 2nd. And got a base hit in the 5th. He was left stranded at second base. Nice stop by Mark Nicholas. You know, we're sitting here doing the ball game, and Chris, I mean, I'm sure you're sweating. I'm sweating. You imagine Mark Nicholas spent the whole day doing landscaping work and now has to wear that catcher's equipment for what is now 2 hours. And he told me that it has indeed taken its toll this season. Riccio, our director tonight.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the courtesy run for high school and pinch runners and all that, but certainly for this league, I think the courtesy runner is a great call because that's a tough enough position. A lot of these guys on all the teams are out there catching every day, especially if you have back-to-back ball games.
And Mark's got a couple of boys, and he helps coach. You know, it's tough. It's tough to be in this league and have all your other responsibilities and keep everybody happy. Not easy. 3-2 now to Stahl.
Dan's making him work here. They want to make the pitcher throw strikes.
Adam Sand on deck.
Tom Zerfos really would like to keep Amy out of this ball game.
So would Leah. Time called by Stahl. He steps out. Was that a Stahl tactic, Chris, would you say?
It was definitely a S-T-A-H-L tactic.
Two men on. One down. And here comes Zerf. I think we have seen the end of Dan Leah as Ryan Amy will head to the mound. Dan Leah's day is done, so he will end up going 6 1/3 Don't know the run totals yet. We know he gave up 2, and neither one was earned. He gave up 6 base hits. He walked 3 now in the ball game. Gets a big round of applause from his supporters. He struck out 4. Dan Leah with a terrific effort tonight. And he'll get some high fives from his teammates.
And the Royals have an 8-run lead. And why you're bringing one of your top pitchers in here to close the door? Well, the way things have gone in this series, to have the lead is not the thing you want to have. Because both times the team that has had the lead has ended up coming up and having the other team come up and bite them. So Bob Surfos wants to sniff out the rally here. He would have liked for Leah to finish the ball game, both for him and for the team. But obviously he is worried about the Orioles getting any semblance of a rally started. So he's bringing in the hammer.
And you don't need much of a memory, Chris, to realize the Orioles scored 10 runs in the last ball game in 1 inning. So 1 down. Runners on first and second. Snyder at second, Stahl at first. But it is a real uphill battle, and I'm not sure there's enough daylight to fight the battle. Amy, of course, one of the real veterans on the Royals ball club. 10 years in the league. Amy, during the regular season, was involved in 11 games. He started 8 of them, 52 2/3 innings. He gave up 50 hits, 21 runs, 19 earned, walked 13, and struck out 49. He had an ERA of 2.53 and was 6-1 on the season. That's just a typical Ryan Amy season. Well, here's Adam Sant, the league MVP, to face him. Outside, ball 1.
And he is used to coming in to ball games out of the bullpen. He was used, I think, 3 times in relief during the regular season.
And I believe, Chris, he flew in from Puerto Rico today.
Yep. This afternoon. That was one of the Orioles questions. Where was Amy going to throw today to start? The answer was, we're not even sure if he's in the country yet.
Mark
But he did
Nicholas,
get here before the game.
Mark Nicholas did not need that trip to the mound. That was a struggle. But they want to make sure that they're on the same page with their signals. Well, fastball. It's a fastball. There it is, right down the heart of the plate, 1-1. Come on, 1-9. Curveball out of the strike zone, 2-1. Punching it foul, evens the count up at 2-2.